This is a continuation and a little bit extreme for replacing or repairing the cross member. It won't be replaced, but it will be repaired, and we're going to use some extreme methods. Rather than going through here and doing all that and disconnecting all these ribbon cables, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the other side, because this is really laborious and it's really time consuming and very delicate. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and go through this side and repair the cross member. And being that the cross members cost $30, it's a savings, quite a savings. And we're going to see if we can go through the top to get there. So this foam piece here is connecting the battery compartment to the fuselage. So we take an X-Acto knife and we're just going to cut right through that foam. Cut all the way around the foam. And we're just going to cut this battery compartment right out of there. Seems like it's stuck on something. All right. Okay, so this battery compartment is connected somehow to this main board. All right, so since we've gone this far, let's find out exactly where it's connected. I'm going to take this board off, put this ribbon cable underneath, lift up the board. Now, why won't this battery, oh, there it is. The battery compartment is attached to the main board. So it has these screws, and this battery compartment is the attachment to the main board. So cutting out the battery compartment is not going to get us where we want to go. It was an idea, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. And then even if you got the battery compartment out, you'd still have a lot of these wires in the way to make the repair on the cross frame. Well, if you take a close look at this cross member failure, we'll zoom in here so we can see it a little bit better. You can see that this cross member was actually designed to fail. And the reason I say that is because this cross member had to be molded, and the design mold had to include these reliefs with the screw holes so that it was going to be bolted to some other frame. So these holes caused a weak point all the way through, in both directions actually, for a failure and a crack to occur right through the center. So it's actually designed to fail. So anyhow, the failure is here. It's obviously broken, and we're going to fix it, because replacing it is $30, and I don't want to do that. And it seems like they break very frequently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some epoxy, JB Quickset. And we're going to use this JB Quickset and epoxy this, and then we're going to reinforce it with something that's lightweight, and tongue depressors are really easy to come by, and they're relatively flexible, and they're strong. So it's the perfect thing, and it's easy to work with. So what I've done is cut one end off. Let me back out here. And I measured off how long it would have to be to go across the broken piece. So we're going to fix it with epoxy, then reinforce it with this piece. Now these things, these tongue depressors, can be easily cut with a Dremel tool. So if you just turn on the Dremel tool, okay, so we cut the piece that we need, and we're gonna put it in there to reinforce it and fix this cross member. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to mix equal parts of this JB weld. So I take a Q-tip, cut off the end of it like that, take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and we're going to mix them up in 50-50. So this is 4-minute epoxy. We need something quick just to hold it in place. And put a little bit over here, get some more epoxy, put it right over here. The whole idea of this is just to hold it. So we want to coat both sides. And then we got both sides coated. We put it together like that. And now we wait 4 minutes. Okay, so now we've let it sit for 4 minutes, and you can see that I've got some clamps attached so that I didn't have to sit there and hold it the whole time. And the next thing we want to do is release the clamps. All right, now that we have the clamps off, what we want to do is we can see that it's attached. It's fixed, but it's not real strong. So we have to put a reinforcement in there. So we mix up some more JB weld. We take it and we put it on the board. Got a nice coating on there. Now we just take it and we flip it right on the top here. And we press it down. Press it down. All right. There we go. And we've got a reinforced cross-member frame. So we'll let that set for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and put it together. Okay, we've let it set up for a few minutes now, and so we'll take the clamps off, and it's better than new. So now, let's put it back together again. Okay, we've got this piece through here. There, so it lines up and it comes into the holes there. And then put the screws back in. It's a T6 Torx driver. Okay, now we're going to attach this ribbon cable in the middle. See if we can zoom in on that. the whole trick of that is to get it lined up properly in there so that you can just inch its way into the connector. Once you line that ribbon cable up into this connector, you just put this thing, the outside connector on, and it just snaps in like that. And then it's complete. You know, the same thing actually goes for this connector right here. So you just, with a pair of tweezers, just guide that in to the slot, and then when it's fully seated into the slot, just close this black locking connector on it, like that. And then that's attached. So we got 1, 2, and these are all in there. So we're almost done. Okay, then next thing we do is we take this. Its sticky stuff is still good, but we want to make sure that this camera right here is not blocked and that all the holes line up. So we got to be really careful in putting this thing back in. And okay, that's good to go. Then we've got the issue of this battery pack that I cut out with the X-Acto knife. And what we want to do is we want to reattach that. And the good thing to do is get some Loctite Ultra Gel Control. And it has a really handy-dandy dispenser like that. And you just want to take some and you put some, just dab it around a little bit on each side. Hold it in place. As good as new. All right. So we've fixed the frame. It's no longer bottoming out. We've saved ourselves $30. And the drone is ready to go back into action. Okay, for the final test, we want to put the battery in and see if the props will work. If it goes through a check to make sure that all the wiring is correct. And then if all props turn, it's working. So just hook up the battery. And we've got 2, 3, 4. All right, it works. Okay, one other test, we got to fly it. So we'll take it in the other room, make sure that it works. Well, here we have the drone that we just repaired in the middle of the living room, and going to press the takeoff and see what happens. Yeah, all right. It's working. Go a little bit that way. Come down a little bit. Move it over a little bit. And the drone is working. Thanks for watching.